on, everybody? Welcome to episode 465 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles. Joined today, once again, bonus guest. We've got Ben Askren, of course, and to my right, Stephen Kyle Bradkey. But special guest today, Coach Matt Storniolo, head coach of the Northwestern Wildcats. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm fired up. It's Big Ten week. It's like one of the best weeks of the year, other than like NCAA week, which is the best. How are you guys doing? How's Northwestern feeling headed into Big Tens?
Good. We're in a good spot. Seems like teams turning on at the right time. For the most part, we're healthy and got a full lineup again. And so it's been very seldom this year that we had a full lineup. So going into the Big Ten tournament with all our guns is the right time to do it.
Yeah, and obviously one of the big guns that was out of your lineup for a lot of the year was Sebastian Rivera. Got injured at Midlands and missed a significant amount of time. How healthy would you say Sebastian is right now?
I think he's about as close to 100% as anybody in the country for a wrestling season. So he's in a good spot. Hopefully having a little bit of that extra time off to get healthy keeps him fresher and more energized, but he's chomping at the bit. He's ready to go.
Yeah, and 133 is obviously the most discussed weight class headed into Big Tens, or really anything like that, any conference weight, really. And he's currently matched up on Seth Gross' side. They had a crazy match at Midlands. What did you take away from that match where he had seemingly a huge advantage on his feet, but gives up a lateral drop from underneath and ends up losing the match?
Yeah, I think all the takeaways from that match are positive, and I think he's probably in a better place. You never want to lose a match, but having lost that match, he's chasing somebody down. He's the hound instead of the hare, and even though he didn't come away with that win, he won every position except for one during that wrestling match. He was picking him apart on his feet. The move he gave up, that lat drop, was so situational. If he's not on the edge,
you can call it beautiful if you want, Matt.
It was the last hope of a dying man, and it hit its mark. He got it, but you watch how that match plays out afterwards, where he's hanging onto a leg for how long, and there's no stalling. There's a illegal cutback that's missed, and reversal that they give Sebastian, then they unwind it. So it was an ugly match.
That was hideous.
When we beat him, we're going to beat him.
Explanation for what happened at the end of the match there with the drop down, all that? It was a calamity.
So they said that the wrestling took him there, so there's no automatic count. But there's no
to what?
As
what
opposed
do you mean the
to putting
took you there? What does that mean?
Yeah, I didn't agree with it. It was the only way he could have not given up an escape or reversal was to hang on to that leg, but there was nothing preventing them from putting up a fist the old-fashioned way, because he wasn't trying to improve or blow it dead. Don't let a guy hang on for dear life like that at the end. And so now he didn't break his lock, so they can't call the reversal, but if you watch the film, he breaks his lock. But again, I think we're going to be better off for having lost that match, and now we're hungry going into the next one. That's not a match that, in my opinion, Seth Gross can feel good about getting his hand raised at the end. He found a way to do it, and hats off to him for finding a way. That's what it's about. But when you look at moving forward, you'd rather be a guy like Sebastian that won almost every position. We lost one position. And bottom line is you can't give up a 6-point move against a top opponent and come out ahead most of the time. So we learned a little bit from that match, a lot of good things and one bad thing, but he's in a good spot.
And what are your thoughts? He didn't wrestle. He hasn't faced RBY. He hasn't faced DeSanto. What are your thoughts on those potential matchups, as those two are the big guns on the other side of the bracket?
Yeah, they're both talented kids, and they're going to be good matches. But Sebastian is at his best when he's against the best guys, and he's a gamer. You saw it last year at the Big Ten tournament. He put together as good of a competition as anybody, and expect him to do the same thing this year.
Looking at 157, Deacon looked like he maybe has separated from the rest of that weight class. His performance at Vegas was eye-opening. Hayden Hiley, someone that I think everyone reveres as an outstanding wrestler, and how he beat him was really, really impressive. Of course, last year the story was how great he could look, and then also how low his lows could be relatively for someone as good as Ryan Deacon is. What have you done from last year to this year to make sure he maintains that level of consistency?
One thing that we did was he was a little beat up after Vegas, and he's not the kid that's ever going to complain or tell you what the smart thing to do is. He's going to do the hard thing. He's going to do what in his mind is the right thing to do, and we had to pump the brakes on him. We were watching him in practice. He was a little banged up, and had to talk with him like, "Hey, Ryan, we're not going to wrestle you at Midlands." And he was honestly upset about it. He wanted to go. Since there's been a little bit of time for him to separate from the decision, I know that he knows it was the right decision for him, and that gave him a chance to go into the Big Ten season healthy. Get rid of some of those nagging injuries that could linger throughout the season. So that's part of it. What was getting him healthy mid-year for this final push. And another part of it was his Big Ten schedule this year wasn't quite as tough as it was a year ago. If you run it back, he went to Vegas. And we come back right after Vegas, he wrestles Larry early. Then he goes Midlands, wins that, runs the gauntlet, and comes back with Berger, Nolf. It was just every week he had a top 8 opponent, and it's taxing. It's taxing on your body. It's taxing on your mind. So just with the way the schedule worked out this year, he still wrestled some really good kids in the Big Ten schedule, but had a little bit more relief. And so he's in a good spot. He's healthy. He's wrestling well, and if he's on his game, there's nobody that's going to be able to touch him.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case at 57. Now, a couple of things have happened in the last couple of weeks, and you can be outspoken at times. And the Coach Dresser's Last Chance qualifier kind of drew your ire on Twitter. You said this was basically match fixing. You had some issues with it. What changes do you think or action should come as a result of that tournament?
I think there are a couple of changes that could be made that be for the better. And I don't claim to have all the answers. And it takes a lot for me to put anything on Twitter nowadays after my little scenario a couple of years ago with Imar in Illinois. But that was one that I feel like it's reprehensible what happened there, and it's disrespectful to the sport. It's dishonest. It does steal, like Ben said, you're stealing a spot from somebody that put the work in and earned it. It's like saying, other schools should have to do this the right way, but we don't need to do that. We'll find our fix, and we'll do the workaround. And I think you guys did an okay job on calling him out on some of the ways that he contradicted himself, but he contradicted himself left and right. Nothing really added up there. And I want to go back and say, I had a lot of respect for Coach Dresser as a coach. What he did at Virginia Tech was nothing short of amazing. He resurrected that program. It was ashes, and he built it up to a top 10 program. The way he turned around Iowa State in one season really was incredibly impressive. And I enjoy his candor. The way he gave real talk to the team a couple of weeks ago was spot on. But this scenario right here it's not all right.
So do you think what changes do you see that should happen in terms of earning NCAA allocations or whatever? I mean, to me, the root issue is injury defaults can count as wins, teammates, victories over teammates count as wins, win percentage. Where do you see the changes that need to happen?
Well, let's talk about a couple of things there. So, victories over teammates count, but losses over teammates count too.
Right.
And Yaya Thomas at Midlands, he lost to Trevor Chumley. Yaya had an injury first round. We wanted to have him push through it so that he could learn how to, or see where he was at when wrestling with an injury. And he got knocked out of the tournament by Trevor Chumley, one of our redshirt freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And that counts on his record. So why shouldn't a win against a contested opponent count? You're still out there. You're still taking the risk. You're assuming the risk of an injury, and it's a contested match. Injury defaults, again, if you step on the mat with intention to wrestle a full match and something happens along the way and your opponent can't finish it, why should you be penalized by missing that opportunity to get a win? Flip side of it, if you're the guy that injury defaults, I don't have as much of an issue with that. Is that gaming the system? Yeah, that's gaming the system. But you're also being punished by taking that loss on your record. So Johnny Sebastian going to the Last Chance Open to get that win. I don't have the same issue with that scenario as I do with the Coleman situation, because Johnny now has a loss on his record that is factored into his winning percentage. It's factored into his RPI. So you're being penalized for that in a roundabout way. It's a necessary evil. I need to match, but I'm gonna get dinged for it. So I don't think that they can all be looked the same, and I don't know what the answer is there to avoid some of these things. I think it's the type of situation where you assume that people are going to have some integrity about the way they run a tournament, the way they bracket it. And if a guy steps on the mat, that it's going to be contested. Now, a couple of things that I do think need to be changed, and they're not tied directly to this, but winning percentage. I don't think winning percentage should be taken into account for allocations or seeding. You have different schools from different conferences that wrestle very different schedules. And you can't tell me that a kid in the Big Ten that's 10-8 has wrestled the same quality of competition as a kid from a SoCon school who has a 16-7 record. Probably not the same level of competition.
Right.
And kind of ties into the RPI too. Winning percentage is factored into the RPI. Your strength of schedule is factored into the RPI. So why are we using that twice? Why does win percentage come into play? Those are a couple of things that
should coaches do rankings. This is kind of not to
absolutely not. No, they shouldn't. And one example of this, you look at Sebastian Rivera. He drops to 10th in the coaches poll ranking. This last set, he was third after Midlands when he didn't wrestle for a couple. Then he's out of the lineup long enough that he's not rank eligible. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he's 10th. He hasn't lost any matches. He's back in the lineup. He wins a couple. No, what happened there is there are a few coaches that did not click the button to re-add Sebastian to their rank. He's not in their top 33 from the week before because he wasn't eligible, and now he's eligible again, but they've got their head in the sand. They've got other things going on. They're getting their teams ready for their conference tournament. So they don't do their due diligence, and they don't put them in the rankings. Same thing happened to Tomasello, I think, a few years ago.
Yes.
And no, coaches shouldn't be doing rankings. They're not going to put the same time and effort into it as your major media outlets. Other thing, too, is there's an inherent bias. You can't tell me that when they're getting down to that last nitty-gritty, 25 through 33 that anybody can go into, that if they have an opportunity to rank a guy in their conference, even if it's not their own guy,
right,
they're going to rank a guy in their own conference because that helps their cause for their guy stealing a spot. The more opportunities that are out there at a weight class in a conference, the more likely it is your guy to go. And all that stuff happens. And I know for a fact that coaches call each other up. They cut deals. It's not allowed, but it happens. How are you going to police it? How are you going to enforce it? But no, the coaches shouldn't be doing rankings.
Okay, good. We're on the same page there. I agree with you. Ben, do you have any questions for Coach?
No, I don't. I actually did. I did an interview with Kerry Collat yesterday, and he was suggesting that kind of Matt brought up the integrity point of the Kevin Dresser situation. He said, back when you wrestled, Ben, or when I wrestled, you could just take injury time, and there was no penalty for it. But everyone knew you weren't supposed to do that because it was a point of integrity. And he said, well, if they don't change the rules, and so eventually they changed the injury time rule, people will keep doing it. So what we need to do is we need to change the rules. He said, if they don't change the rules, I might just do, we're the Camels. I might just do the Hump Day Open every Wednesday next year. And my guys are going to lead the nation in pins and techs and everything else.
Yeah, there's really, what it really showed is that there's nothing stopping that from happening. You can have events.
Yes.
Now, Ben, do you think Collat was serious about that?
I think it felt as though if they don't change it, it feels like they will change it. It feels like if they don't change it, he might just do it a couple of times just to mess with people to prove his point. Which, is like, okay, who else is going to be able to make a Wednesday tournament? No, the answer is nobody, right? So this be his guys wrestling his guys the whole time.
No, I think he's got it. I can't imagine he's serious with the type of person he is. But if he is, like, that's this whole like I'd rather be the solution than the problem talk that we heard last week. Like it's crap.
That was shenanigans. I agree.
And so if Collat, who was I think worst ones to call out what happened in this situation, goes and does that, then that's no different than what happened 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that it's going to get changed. It feels as though there's enough momentum where it will get changed in some way, shape, or form this offseason, and we won't have the possibility of something like that happening again next year.
So we had some fan submitted questions for Coach Storniolo. Starting with a good one here. Coach Matt and you pinned me in a spladle back when he wrestled at Haverford High School. Was it as memorable for him as it was for me?
So I saw that tweet, and I pinned a couple of guys in my day in a spladle, so I can't pinpoint it. Guy didn't have much information on his Twitter account, so I think if he gave me a little more details, what school he wrestled for, where the tournament was, I think I'd probably remember it. I still remember most of my high school matches, but sorry, Josh, I can't put my finger on it.
He's not sorry. Hey, were you like kind of like Darian Caldwell, like they would shoot a single leg, you put the head inside, and is that how you would get to your spladle?
No, it was on top. It was more like a banana split than a spladle.
Got it.
My freshman year, I wrestled 119, so I was so long for the weight class. So I get a leg in, and it wasn't too hard to spladle guys. And I also so we said Haverford High School. It was actually the Haverford School. It was a private school. There is a Haverford High, and then there's the Haverford School. I started out as prep school, and some of the competition wasn't the best. So banana split a couple of guys.
You're not gonna not.
Ouch.
Okay.
Ouch to Josh.
This is a long time question asker, Sparky Boo Man. He asks a lot of questions. Here's one. He says, why don't we see more NCAA guys compete for a year before redshirting? Seems like some guys could better maximize their redshirt if they had already been around the block once and had a better sense of where they need to improve.
For me?
Yeah, that's for you. I don't know.
Okay, well, I there's validity to that. It's all situational, right? It's all you've got to look at it as a singular issue, and some guys need to come in and they need to develop physically. Maturity plays a part in wrestling at the collegiate level. So some guys, they just need to let their bodies catch up to other guys. Certain kids are ready to go right away, and getting in the lineup, I think for sure is the best way to improve. But you've got to make sure that it's going to set a kid on a good path, right? The other thing about wrestling is the mental side of it. And you see good high school wrestlers that come out of high school and get into college, and they get chewed up by it and then never recover mentally. So you want to make sure you're not putting a kid on a bad path. But I can give you an example with Colin Valdivias. Colin came in, one of our guys, true freshman, started him out as a redshirt for his first tournament, watched him compete and said, like, you know what? This kid, he's going to be the best option at 133 pounds for us, and he can compete with these guys. Like, let's get him out there. And he was game for it. He had a good season, ended up competing at the NCAA tournament in kind of a crazy way. He went as the alternate and then got pulled in when Renteria missed weight, but went 2-2 at NCAAs his first year, got a ton of valuable experience. And then now in year 3, he's taking a red shirt. And I think Collins got more out of his red shirt in year 3 than he would have in year 1. Had a good sample of what works for him in college, what he needs to do a little bit better. So when you're a little bit more mature, I think you can get more out of that season instead of just kind of floating through it.
Got it. Makes sense.
Coach Storniolo, one thing that Ben didn't believe this when Coach Dresser was on, and we talked about it afterwards because Coach Dresser said it was his tournament, he could seat it however he wants. And you're involved in Midlands, and I know there's like a seating criteria for Midlands. But if there wasn't, is it true that you could just make the brackets however you wanted to?
I
don't.
I'm not a compliance worker. There's a rule. There are rules in the rule book that address seating, right? They address seating. Now the seating rules, a lot of them say like should. Right. So are they saying that this is a rule or you should do it this way? But there is a paragraph about assigning buys. And it says that buys have to be assigned random in the first round. They can't give any team an advantage or a disadvantage in the competition. So to say that you can just have a tournament and pick and choose where you put people, I don't think that that's an accurate statement. Then there are other things that go back to it just doesn't add up. And I don't want to kind of harp on this and just bash Coach Dresser, but it doesn't add up. If he was really trying to get Coleman matches, then why'd you give him a guy first round that you knew wasn't going to wrestle? You could have given him there are 2 South Dakota State kids in there and
second round, Matt. And second round.
Right, and second round. So you seed it that way. And there was some gamesmanship too, not just in getting, I think in getting Johnny in that second round. It wasn't just to have an injury default win. That pads his RPI. Now you get a win over a quality opponent that has a rank, has an RPI, and you get to reap all the benefits of that. But it says that, you have the last chance open so that it gives his guys something to look forward to at the end of the year, gives them matches, but then you put them in a tournament and tell them not to wrestle each other. Or you tell certain guys not to wrestle each other. Carr, he has his teammate in the first round. Like if you're picking and choosing how you're putting guys in a bracket, why has he got his teammate first round? There are guys from other schools. So there are a lot of things that don't add up there. But I don't think you can just put anybody where you want and choose who gets the buys and who doesn't.
Okay. Next question from Bracky's Eagle statue. What one rule change to Folkstyle makes the wrestling better?
Can I suggest one for Matt? Because I'm trying to push it. Matt, did you listen to my insta-death argument last week?
I didn't.
You might like this. Okay, here's my new rule. We just made it out of fun, but now the more I think about it, the more I think, it couldn't be called insta-death, but it would have to have a new name, but it could be a good rule. Okay, if someone accumulates a certain amount of riding time, I think 3.5, or 4 minutes, I'm not sure which one, the match is over, and the other team gets 6 points. How do you feel about that?
Man, I'd like it a lot more if we had that, when I was in college.
Seriously, you would insta-death tons of people.
Yeah.
What's the most riding time you ever ended a match with, Coach?
A lot.
I ended a match with 6 minutes and 45 seconds of riding time. My freshman year against Wisconsin, and I never started a period on top.
What?
Who was it? Who was that bad? 149.
It was Josh.
It was somebody.
No, Josh,
who had brothers from Wisconsin. I'm trying to remember who it was. I know his
Tyler
name.
Turner. Tyler Turner, or one of the Turners?
Yeah, I think it was one of the Turners. Pretty sure. I hope I'm not saying that wrong and making this guy hate me now. Probably hates me either way.
He hates you.
But
He definitely hates you.
Got a quick take out of the first period. Chose bottom in the second, reversed him in like a couple of seconds, and then he chose top in the third period. Same thing, reversed him real quick, and final match score was 15-0. I had 14 points on the board, 1 second of rotting time, so it went the duration, but it was also a tech fall. So yeah, three periods, never started on top, had 6 minutes and 45 seconds for rotting time.
That's impressive.
But I was scoring points on top. I wasn't just laying on him.
Yeah. The turner was the turned in this case, it seems. Okay. All right. My final thing. I believe you coach the most underrated, underappreciated heavyweight wrestler of all time. A young man with 3 wins over Mason Parris, a win over Amar Desi, Austin Schaefer, Trent Hilger, Ben Askren, Yusuf Hamida, and gas tank Gary Traub. I'm talking about the one and only Conan Jennings. Can you talk a little about big Conan Jennings fan? What was it like coaching that guy?
There were times that it was awesome, and then there were times that it made my hair fall out. Conan, he was a different animal, more like a stuffed animal, like a teddy bear. Didn't have a mean bone in his body. I wish he did. He's a big dude. If he would have got a little violent with some guys, it would have been fun. I think it would have helped his cause. But Conan, everybody just looked at him and thought like, oh, he's not this V-shaped build. He doesn't know how to wrestle. But Conan knew how to wrestle. He knew how to wrestle through positions almost like a lightweight. So he could get into some scrambles and come out on top. I don't know, did Austin Schaefer in there?
Austin Schaefer's in there, yeah.
Okay, so that match at NCAAs, Schaefer gets in on our legs, and they start rolling around. Conan comes out on top. Schaefer's tired. Conan rides him like a dog. I think gets him hit 2 or 3 times for stalling in the first period, and ends up. Did he major? He majored him. Beats him by major decision at the NCAA tournament. So Conan, he was tough on top. He had a good tilt. So that's dangerous for a heavyweight when you're that big, and it's hard to get away from somebody, and you can do more than just ride them. But knew how to scramble, knew how to wrestle through positions really well for a big guy. And the 3 wins over Paris, it was fun. It was fun to watch. And when we got that seed at the Big Ten tournament, we saw them matched up. We thought like, oh, this is perfect. And then seeds for NCAAs, we thought it was going to work out the same. Thought we were going to have Paris in the second round and beat him for the 4th time to be in a great spot to be on the podium. But Conan was also the guy that before his quarterfinal match at NCAAs against Walls, I've got a picture of him like 20 minutes before the match just laying on his back, knees up, like dead asleep. Like you'd think he'd be nervous or excited for the match, and I'm sure he was excited, but
Conan's also sleeping.
He's a different cat. Yeah, he's really good at sleeping. Better at sleeping than wrestling.
Well, that's awesome. Funny story. Well, Coach, I really appreciate you coming on. Do you have anything else for us before? Bracky and I will see you in New Jersey, but anything before we let you go?
Do I just have to send off controversial tweets to get you guys to invite me on the show, or are you guys just going to do it when we're doing all right next time?
Or do that. That will help. Or coach really good guys like Sebastian Rivera and Ryan Deacon and Conan Jennings. That also helps too. So there's a combination. So keep the hammers coming, keep the tweets coming, and you'll get another invite. We don't do a lot of guests, other than Ben, who's like a perma guest. So
okay, that's fair.
All right.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Coach. Talk to you later.
See you.
All right. There you have it. Thanks to Coach Storniolo for hopping on. Yeah. Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling well recovered. I was in Ireland last weekend. I'm an idiot. I thought the state tournament was 1 weekend prior, so I actually missed our high school state tournament, but it went really well for our guys in AWA. Obviously, we had some heartbreak. We had 6 guys wrestle each other in the state finals, so there were some heartbreaks in there. But
in jiu-jitsu, really they just close out. They just decide who the winner is, and It's a very simple way to discover who the winners are. It's beautiful.
As does Kevin Dresser.
Yeah, and Kevin Jiu-Jitsu and Kevin Dresser. Maybe he learned from the Meows or something. I don't know. All right, well, I'm glad. What were you doing in Ireland? What was there? UFC or something?
It was just like a convention where they took some pictures, signed some autographs, spoke a little bit, that kind of thing.
What sort of? I'm sorry, I don't know what this was. What convention?
Yeah, no, it was like a first time thing. It's called FightCon Ireland, and they just paid me to come over and do that kind of stuff.
Dang, that
Yeah,
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, not as cool as the NCAs are going to be, but
No
it's
way.
good.
Not even close. Not even close. So,
Yeah.
before we get there, we have another amazing weekend of wrestling coming. We've got conference weekend, which it's all in one weekend now. So it's very intense. Pac-12's got off their little Pac-12 island, and now they joined the rest of the conferences. But Big Ten pre-seeds dropped, Ben. Have you got a chance to look at these?
I did. I looked them over. I also looked the AIWA's over. Obviously, I know you guys are going to be upset about the Rivera one, but I think whether he's 12 or whether he's 5, it's kind of the same spot, right? Because 12 and 5 wrestle first round, so kind of whatever. But I know you guys would kind of not like that. And besides that, you guys are more educated than me. We picked right. Murin, Red, Moran, McKee at 41. We did that right. I didn't see anything else that was egregious.
No, I don't really have any issues. I think Nomad was surprised they made Mason the number 1, but I think if you look at their seasons, it was clearly Mason, and he was there for the duel, and Gable wasn't able to wrestle then, so I think it's fine, and it'll work itself out. I'm excited we'll get to see Gable. I would have been excited no matter who Cassiope had in his semi, whether it was Paris again, because as great as Mason looked, I have a hard time picturing the match going that way again in terms of just complete dominance and total, Cassiope not even being close. So I think it will look different, but I'm excited we'll get to see Gable versus Cassiope again. But I'm not upset about Rivera being the 5. It's just pick how you want to do it. Do you want to do it just based on how good you know the guy to be, or do you want to do it based on process? Don't pick and choose. So, 5, that's fine. I think Ridge Lovett gets hosed a little bit there. A guy who had a really nice season, wrestled most of the year.
But hold on. But with Christian, if you put him at the 12, then he's got to wrestle Ridge Lovett. So don't you think Ridge Lovett's going to be happier wrestling Boo Dryden than he would Sebastian Rivera?
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you that it's wrong, but it kind of works out to be okay for everybody.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think these quarters are going to be wild because you think about Alvarez RBY was crazy close. Very close match. Now, Alvarez, the majority of that match he spent just defending what Roman was trying to do, but he was so good in the scrambles that it took Roman a while before he got that takedown in overtime. That's a quarter. Lovett rode out DeSanto. That would be a quarterfinal. Really, the least juicy one is the one that's almost always juicy, never turn. The 4-5 is always oh, that's a marquee quarter. But Piotrowski, Rivera, that doesn't really get me all that fired up because I just feel like if Rivera is close to 100%, that's not really a very close match.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the man Joey Silva versus Seth Gross than I am Piotrowski Rivera for obvious reasons.
Don't do this to yourself.
Yeah, just stop.
No, I won't stop. I refuse to stop. Do you guys think he's going to qualify? He's got to get 7. My man's the 8 seed. No? No. It's really going to be tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
He's got to beat someone really good.
And you look at – I'm still blown away that somehow Jordan Decatur managed to get the 14 because he I know – okay, but take away the DeSanto match. He hasn't looked terrible against some of the best guys in the country.
He hasn't, but he just doesn't have the wins.
King Sandoval
is the –
Yeah, I know.
That's the kind of trump card that makes it tough.
Let's see,
for him.
14. Oh, shoot. Decatur's got DeSanto first round. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Right off weigh-ins.
Oh, boy. That's going to be that's going to be a treat.
But I could see I could see Decatur beating Garrett Pepple or Boo Dryden or Joey Silva it's not. I don't think he's favored, but if Jordan Decatur beats those guys, I'm not oh my god, what happened at all.
There's because of their schedule, Decatur and Silva, they're both it's going to be tough for them to qualify, both of them, because they're not going to get wild cards, I don't think.
Correct.
I think Silva, no chance at a wild card.
No. It's just like 5 matches.
Maybe Decatur has an outside shot at a wild card because he's at least wrestled all year.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's going to be 33. It's just
4 matches for Joey Silva.
Oh, boy. So
I'm just glad they're letting him leave the state.
He's going to have to get top 7 here. I think he's going to do it. Because there's a lot of good wrestlers he has to beat, but lucky for Joey, he happens to be a really good wrestler too.
I also
Go ahead.
So
wait, is Christian legit calling auto qualify for Joey Silva?
Oh yeah. What, top 7?
He can't abandon his take now.
Yeah, I'm not backing off this take. I think this is what it's all been for. This is what all been leading up to. You know what? How many undefeated guys are in this bracket? I'm not seeing many.
Oh God! All right, I don't know if you might be joking. You might be running a gimmick on us. I'm not really sure.
Well, it's a quarter gimmick. I do actually think he's really good, and I actually believe he will qualify. But he's not a top.
Which
4 guy
one?
here.
Which one of those guys is he going to beat, Christian?
I think he
qualify.
He could beat Ridge Lovett. He could beat Alvarez. He could beat Piotrowski.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Yeah, very fair. He's beaten DeSanto in high school multiple times. He's gonna need to get those lungs percolating, firing. He can't get tired like he did against Paul Glenn. But
he looked pretty tired against Paul Glenn.
He was pretty tired, but he figured it out. He got it done. Okay, so 33 is gonna be.
I have a statement from Nomad on 33, by the way.
Oh, I love statements.
Because he's very concerned about himself being wrong about where they were going to seed Seabass.
Well, he said like 4 different seeds throughout the course of the last
Right.
week.
When he was on the show and we had the big conversation, him and Ben decided on 5 or 12. He's like, but then I talked to coaches who were doing the seeding and said they put Seabass below 5. So that's why he went with 6. He just wants everyone to know that.
Wow, he's really taking being one off really, really hard. Okay, it's fine. Nomad, we'll that's within the margin of error. We have no issues with that. Okay, so that's 33. I don't know if we're going weight by weight here. Any other weights you really want to dig into here, Ben? I mean, there's a lot.
But for me, what I feel like when I look at all these seeds is like, besides Paris, Cassiopeia, it's like, well, we've seen pretty much everything. There's not much debate. It's like you look at 49, you've seen Sasso and Lugo and Lee. You've seen them all wrestle. You look at 57, you've seen all these guys wrestle. So, I don't really feel as though there's too much debate because we've seen almost all of the matches.
I'm super excited for some of these 84 rematches. I want to see Rocky Assad again. I want to see Caffey Assad again. I thought that was if Assad was just a couple finishes away from beating that, but Caffey kind of really emerged the second half of the season. Brooks Vins is a very likely semifinal. Vins beating Brooks, but Brooks is the deserved 1 seed there. So I really like 84. I think it's a pretty fun weight class and kind of deep too. So yeah, we have seen that one. Skatska Labriola was like one of the best Big Ten matches last year. That would be a quarterfinal. So I'm kind of excited we'll see Marinelli Wick probably for the, 6th time?
6, 7, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
So looking forward to that. Vincenzo Joseph has not won Big Tens yet. But
nope.
Yeah.
This could be.
Looking at 84, what a great draw for Assad.
You think? Getting
Rocky.
Rocky. Then
Beating Rocky. And then Caffey was a 1-point match, and he lived on his legs the whole match.
You feel like he's just a couple adjustments away.
On
that one.
He could easily be in the finals.
But didn't Assad beat Vens, if I remember right?
Yeah, he did. But you'd rather have Rocky Jordan than Taylor Vens.
Yeah, sure. Opinion. But I guess I was thinking more of the semis. I feel like Assad could beat anyone in that bracket too. Maybe except Brooks. So I guess being 3 over 4 is big for him.
Yeah, being opposite Brooks. Brooks, I think Brooks will be my pick to win this weight class. I think it's a good path for him. And I'm excited for Rocky. If I'm Rocky Jordan, I'm kind of excited. I'm like, hey, let's see what I got.
Are we doing picks on the Big Tens, or are we just not going to do it? We're just going to talk about it a little bit and not do the picks.
You want to do picks?
I don't know. I mean, this is you're the official host, Christian. You determine
Okay,
what
all
the
right,
formula
whatever.
is.
You're the co-host. It's an equal share here. Well, let's do.
I mean,
picks.
I think it'd be fun. Now that we know the seeds, I always hate doing picks when you don't have the seeds because it's like it's so dumb picking the opposite side when you don't know who the 3 and the 4 and the 6 is going to be. You know.
Oh, another thing. Last time we did the show, we were like, "Are they going to get Kirk Fleet in?"
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Oh,
they tried.
They did not.
They tried, but it didn't happen. That would have been such a fantastically interesting wrinkle. That
would have been.
Okay, 125 is maybe the least interesting Big Ten weight of all Big Ten weights because Spencer's so good. And then for the Big Ten to be this
The field's not great.
shallow.
No.
I guess the opposite of deep. There's a lot of names though. There's a lot of names. Like Heinzelman was a qualifier last year. He's the 11. Thompson is like a 4-time state champion. He's a 10, right? So
I'm pretty sure 8 through 11 all won Fargo.
okay. So 8 through 11.
Barnett did.
Thompson did.
Thompson for sure did.
Malik
Malik won
Heinzman
many
did,
times.
and I'm pretty sure Aguilar beat what's his name? D'Amelio in the finals one year.
Okay. You would know. You have a really good memory. So, yeah, this is really it's kind of like credential-wise a good weight, but college-wise kind of scary.
Hey, can I the Indiana kid, I can't remember, that lost to Glory in the semis at Midlands.
Hudkins.
Is he out for the? I mean, obviously Cronan's in here. Did Cronin beat him out, or did Hudkins get injured so bad that he was out for the whole year?
I'm certain it must have been an injury. I mean, it looked bad. I never really heard official word, but just seeing Cronin in there all along made me think that must have been what happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I hope he gets the year back.
Yeah,
that's always.
It's funny because that outside inside of the knee, sometimes like a DeSanto, it's really short and it's only a couple weeks, and then sometimes like a Nolf was kind of the same thing that Brock Hudkins did, and it's like that's their ACL, right? And then it's 6 months. It's kind of crazy how that works out.
Yeah, really stinks. So, okay, 125. No one is even allowed to say anything other than Spencer Lee here. But if you want to discuss anything beyond second on, I think that'd be fun.
I think the interesting thing here is Patrick McKee healthy, because in that match versus Devin Schrader, he was doing really well. He was up 5-2. He gets hurt, and then he just falls apart and gets tech. What is funny about that?
You said Schrader.
You say Schrader every time.
It's an O.
What's his damn name? What's his name?
Well, what sound does the O make, Ben?
that name is pronounced Schrader. Someone tell him in the Facebook comments.
What? Why would
I'm
that be
gonna see
true?
if they have like the pronunciation key.
We're going to the pronunciation
Oh,
key.
there's no. Oh, I thought it was OE. I thought it was OE. I was putting an extra E in there.
Yeah, there is an E.
Sometimes OE. No, I thought it was CHSCHROEDER.
There is a Schrader like that on their thing, but there's no pronunciation guide. We're just gonna have to wait till we get to Big Tens.
My bad.
I'm just gonna
not
ask
extra E. It's Schroeder. I apologize.
Okay.
You guys are bullies. Okay. Anyway, back to the match. McKee was wrestling really well. He was winning, I think, 5-2. Hurts his knee and then just falls apart. And we haven't really seen him since then, so it'll be interesting to see if he's full go yet or not.
I'm glad he's back. I was worried about the seriousness of that injury. So glad he's back. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think Schroeder's had the better year, so I'll predict he wins it. An interesting quarter would be D'Agostino versus McKee. So he'd have to watch out for the Northwestern 25. He's pretty salty. And then Cronin Schroeder, you favor Schroeder there, but could be a competitive match.
Cronin beat him in the duel.
There you go. Super competitive.
Boom. Yes.
All right, so I've got Lee over Schroeder.
Same.
You can shoot.
So I'll go same because I don't know McKee's health, so I'll go same.
I don't either. Okay, now here's where it gets zany.
You
gotta make some picks, and Ben's gonna pick Seth Groves because he picked Seth Groves. Only gonna pick Seth Groves. Predictable Ben Askren. Here we go.
Well, I'm gonna go RBY over to Santo. I'll throw that out there right away. I think RBY looks so good. I don't know if DeSantis is going to be able to make the adjustments before then. He might. It'll be interesting to me if he has some hesitation shooting the head inside shot that he likes to because of what RBY did. And then it'll also be interesting. RBY is not doing anything illegal, so it'll be interesting to see what the coaches are saying to the referees. Because if DeSanto goes head inside, RBY is going to go to the same damn defense that worked twice for sure.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting wrinkle. So I'll go RBY over DeSanto. I'll go Gross over Rivera, and then Gross over RBY.
Okay. I don't know why. I still think Gross gets it done at NCAAs, but I think Rivera gets him here. I think Rivera over Gross, and I'm saying the opposite of you completely, and I'm saying DeSanto over RBY, and then I'm saying DeSanto over Rivera.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't expect. Well, we're all really different. I'm going to take Rivera over Gross as well, but then I'm taking RBY over DeSanto and RBY over Rivera.
Oh man.
Wow. That's all over the place.
I don't have strong feelings here about any of these guys. I really think they're all super close. I mean, Seth Gross, he could just do the thing again. And that was the thing, the danger of that match. Like Coach Storniolo and I talking about that, and you can really say, yeah, he won every position, but there's that winning quality that Seth seems to have. And Sebastian has that too, but to the degree that Seth has, I'm not sure. And then with DeSanto RBY, the thing is, the injury happened. It happened in the first 12 seconds of the match, right? Okay. And I think DeSanto has adjustments to make too, and he needs to make them. But I think back to the last two matches. I don't think Roman is necessarily head and shoulders better than he was last year. I think he has improved. And I've been the one that says, hey, this guy can 100% win a title. I still feel that way. But I think people are putting a little too much stock into a really strange match that ended in injury default.
Oof. I don't know. I mean, obviously he got that cradle locked up legally, I might add. The second blow through double looked really, where he pulled back on the overtime, blew through. That looked really, really nice. And for what it's worth, DeSanto did not appear to be wrestling with any type of injury while he was wrestling, right? The second clearly gives up really good. So, and then I watched RBY against Seth, and he looked really good there. Seth was able to get the win, but he looked really good there also. So, I don't know. That's just why I feel strongly he's going to win. So then, that would put Seth at the 1 and Roman at the 2 for NCAAs. I would really like to see Sebastian, Roman Bravo Young. That's one that I have more questions about because they're both, in my opinion, similar, meaning, just really, really good offense, basic defense. I would love to see that match.
I would too. I mean, I think their speed would be insane. Mm-hmm. Both those guys are so fast. I think there's like some really unique styles in this one. Gross is just like crazy scrambles, good leg attacks, amazing on top. Roman's just cat quick. He can dart. He's got really fast go-behinds. Sebastian with the collar and ankle stuff, really good leg attacks. And then DeSanto, like the hardest pace in probably NCAA wrestling, right? So it makes for a really great way. And then you've got all these other guys that make it interesting, like Piotrowski and Ridge Lovett and Sammy Alvarez and Joey Silva, and even Jordan Decatur's like this kind of crazy wrinkle, like how good that guy is on his feet. I can't wait for this weight. And honestly, I don't normally say this, where I can see all four scenarios, but I really can see all four scenarios, a scenario where all four of those guys, because I think they all have styles that match up well against other guys. So great weight.
Let me ask you this tough question. At any point in the bracket, whether it's the front side or backside, what is the likelihood that you see one of those top four guys losing? So Gross, RBY, DeSanto, Art, Ridge, Lovett. It could be on the front side or the backside. What's the chance you see them losing?
What are the chances that I see who losing? The top four?
Any of those four. So I'm saying, what are the chances they finish 1, 2, 3, and 4? The four guys we were talking about.
I'll say 80%, because what if someone just gets their 7 allocations, someone gets dinged up, and they just say, okay, I'm good. I'll call it a tournament here. Maybe someone like Rivera, if he loses in the semi, maybe he just defaults to 6 and says, see you at NCAAs.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
See you at
Yeah,
Nationals.
that's possible.
See you at the Nationals. Very cliche. Okay.
Dang.
So that would be my thought, but man, I have a hard time seeing one of these guys get knocked off. As good as these other dudes are, putting up a 7-minute match together against any of them is kind of tough for me to see. But you really think Gross is going to win? All right, we'll say, okay, listen.
Yes.
Coach Bono's not listening. No one's listening. No one in Wisconsin. We have geo-blocked the state of Wisconsin. They can't hear you. They literally can't hear you right now.
Well, they don't like you. We know that.
Oh, yeah, because I said that, what's he seeded?
Cole Martin's a turkey sandwich wrestler.
Yeah, I said 6 seed Cole Martin's a turkey sandwich wrestler.
I can't remember what else you said. Something else offensive to the state.
That's not offensive. What's wrong with a turkey sandwich? If I said he was, I don't know.
He makes fun of Manitowoc County all the time too.
Yes.
Is he from Manitowoc County?
Oh God. All right. So
that would be awesome if he was. I wish I knew someone from Manitowoc County. I just tried to claim you, Ben.
I am not from Manitowoc County.
It wasn't my idea for that to happen in Wisconsin. It just happened, and I found out about it. So
yeah, I'm
from
trying
Lancaster,
to think if there's
Wisconsin.
any. Yes, Cole's from Lancaster. That's in the boonies out in the west. So okay, here's what I think about Seth Gross. I said this yesterday I did the Brutus podcast with Reese Humphrey, and we were talking about this specific weight class. And the one thing I said about Seth is, he does these things like the lat drop against Sebastian Rivera, and it makes people feel like, oh, he got lucky, he can't do that again. But he does it a lot, right? He's just that guy that finds ways to win, and he happens to have a whole bunch of very unique ways to win matches and score points. And so, yeah, I do think he's going to win. Do I think he's going to just hit a couple beautiful double legs and then do a tight waist? No, he's probably going to find some unique, creative ways to score points, but he seems to always do that. It was a cradle in the finals against DeSanto at Midlands. There's just a lot of different ways for him to score points.
Yeah, he does have the most diverse options for scoring. That's undoubtable. Yeah. It's a very well could be the right pick.
You call Cole Martin a turkey sandwich? His teammates say he's the funniest guy on the team.
What does his sense of humor have to do with the turkey? Turkey sandwich means good, not great, right? It's like no one's ever gonna rave. I mean, is Cole Martin a great NCAA wrestler? He's a great wrestler.
He's very good.
He's gonna kick your ass when we see him in New Jersey.
I like Cole Martin.
He's so nice. I don't think he'll beat up Christian. He's so nice.
Dang it. Bono's coming on tomorrow, so I don't know.
Bono might beat you up.
Bono might beat me up. One time he double-legged me when I had a camera and I was shooting practice. Very dangerous. All right. So we all have different champs. You have RBY.
Yep.
I have DeSanto. He has Seth Gross. No one picked Rivera. So he's definitely going to win.
Dang.
No man
Coach
picked him.
Storniolo would
No man
pick him.
picked Rivera. There we go. Okay, now 41. Hot dang. Can't wait for this one again.
Yes.
Very deep weight also. And we've got Nick Lee, Luke Pletcher, Max Murin, Chad Red, Tristan Moran, Mitch McKee to round out the top 6. Semis here, Pletcher, Murin. I think... Is there anyone seeing any way we don't get the 1 and 2 in the finals, Ben?
No, Pletcher and Lee looked just really, really good this year. But the 3 through 6, those are fun matches for us to watch. But yeah, I think with what happened, you got to go Pletcher Lee in the finals.
All right, you get to coach Luke Pletcher, Ben. What do you do?
Yeah.
How do you fix what happened at the Bryce Jordan Center against Nick Lee?
I mean, now we're going to go to a deep philosophical discussion about wrestling.
I love deep philosophical.
Okay. Well, so I did those score. You remember? Have you guys looked at the scoring things that I showed for the World Championships? I did them on Rudis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where I showed how people scored. Well, the one thing is open ties, which means I'm maybe touching hands or from space, right? Middle tie would be wrist all the way up to the collar. Right, somewhere in there, and then closed tie would be a 2-on-1, an underhook, over under, something to that effect, right? Mm-hmm. And what it always shows is that if you're from here to here is the most scored upon tie by a long shot, and because it's almost impossible to just shut that down, right? And if you think about all the great leg attackers, David Taylor, a lot of those Penn State guys actually they all wrestle from there. There's no really good easy way to shut that down, and that's what's really hard about Luke Pletcher. So Luke Pletcher, what he actually has to do to win this match, if he spends too much time on his feet, he will not win it. I think he's got to ride him. So he's got to get the early takedown he did last time, and he's got to spend some time on top, which he wasn't really able to do last time. And take some piss and vinegar out of Nick Lee, because if they spend time in neutral, as much time in neutral as they did last time, I don't think he's going to win the match.
So to me, so you see it as like, if they're in the ties, that really favors Nick Lee in a way that Luke Pletcher's not going to be able to make adjustments. So it's the time in the tie.
I just think he's so taxing there. He moves so much, right? When you could pull and push and snap and move and everything else. Like when we saw it, right? He wore Luke Pletcher out last time. By the end of the match, Luke Pletcher was very tired. And the one way you can keep Nick Lee out of those is by having him on bottom. If you keep him on bottom, he's not nearly as effective as wearing you out.
Fun quarter here. Max Muir and Mitch McKee. Excited for that one. Obviously, Mitch McKee, we know the talent he has, but hasn't really materialized this year. This is someone we probably thought could be in this like top 3-4 conversation in Big Tens, and he's not there right now. Any thoughts on an upset there, and any credence to Murin maybe keeping it a little closer to this? Or actually, they didn't wrestle at the duel. It was Carter Howell.
They did not wrestle. Yeah.
So, I mean, any thought there? Is there a chance that Pletcher is maybe he was riding so high, wrestling so well? Is there a chance that maybe he's come down a level, and we're seeing Max Murin looks like he's clicking on all cylinders? Is there a chance that match is a little closer than maybe we're giving it credit for?
I don't feel that way. How do you guys feel?
Bracky, any shot there for Murin?
No, I don't feel that way. They've had close matches. At NCAA's last year, and I think Big Tens as well. It was both decision matches, and it's like 4-1 stuff like that.
Are you thinking Nick Lee?
I thought that's who we were talking about.
No, we're talking about Pletcher.
Oh, my bad.
Pletcher,
no,
man.
still no.
Still no.
It's not like he pins him or majors him or anything, but he's in control the entire time.
Yeah. I think Pletcher athletically is going to be problems for Murin. Murin to take those kind of long, slow, they're not super fast shots from space, not a quick finish. I think that could play right into what Pletcher does really, really well. He's got to get him tired or something, which, Nick Lee was able to do, but he wrestles one of the craziest paces in NCAA wrestling as well. Mm-hmm. So everyone, did Nomad jump off the Pletcher bandwagon? Is everyone else, or is everyone?
I don't know where Nomad's on it now.
He's picked like 3 or 4 different NCAA champs this year, I think.
It's man, it would be hard to be on the Pletcher bandwagon after, and I was part of the Nick Lee match, but after watching Nick Lee, it's like, oof. Pletcher, could he beat him? Sure. Is it going to be really, really difficult? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think people are way taking too much, or there's discounting Luke Pletcher after that match, and I think that's really silly. And people aren't going to like this, but Nick Lee hasn't had the best Big Ten in NCAA tournaments.
It's true.
So just keep that in mind. I think if Lee wins again, it won't be as one-sided as it was in the duel.
Yeah,
I picked Lee to win in my preview, but I don't feel great about it.
All right, I feel that too. Maybe
you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I feel
like an overreaction.
Now they're just like dismissing Pletcher altogether.
Yeah,
and I don't agree with that.
No, he's a super athlete, loves wrestling, wrestles really hard. I think there's adjustments for him to make. Looking at 49, man, I think Sasso being opposite of Lugo and Lee, man, I mean, what a benefit to be the 1 seed there. Conan Storr, Graham Rooks, he'll have that winner in the semi. What's actually more interesting as we look at the 49 seeds, I'll read them real quick and then go back to the point I was about to make. Sasso, Lugo, Lee, Kanan Storr, Graham Rooks, Cole Martin, Colin Purinton, Jared Verclaren, Yaya Thomas, Griffin Perriott. So like 10 studs, absolute monsters. Crazy bracket. But Sasso will get the Verclaren Yaya Thomas winner, which I'm not sure who, if you're Sammy Sasso, you want more or less. Verclaren took him to overtime, right? Overtime match there. Yaya Thomas, I think, is a guy whose talent has not matched up with his results this year for a variety of reasons, but I think Yaya's really, really tough. if you're Sasso, I mean, you could have just as big a challenge in that quarter as you could in your semi.
Yeah, I mean that match with Verclaren was really tough for Sammy Sasso. Verclaren wrestled him really well, but Verclaren and Yaya is, I mean that's a coin flip too.
Yes, I completely agree. I don't know who's going to win that. I would, beginning of the year I would have said Yaya, but now you just look at trajectories and how Verclaren's kind of coming along, and Yaya hasn't really been in the mix all year. It makes me really question it. So I'll predict the a Thomas upset. I don't know if it's an upset, but I don't feel that great about it. And I think Sasso's going to have to be on his game early on, right? If you're looking for a surprise finalist, as great as Sasso is, and he's my pick to win NCAAs and has been all year long, I think if you're looking for a surprise finalist, you could have one at this weight class.
Sammy Sasso and Kane Store had a really good Flow Nationals final.
They definitely did. They've kind of gone. It's been mostly Sasso, but Store has beaten him before. It might have just been in HSCA duels. That could have been the only time, but it happened. I was there.
No, it looks like Journeyman too.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that one. Okay, Ben, get to some picks here at 49.
Yeah.
How do you see this playing out?
Lugo's hot. I want to pick Brayton Lee. Lugo's hot though, so I'm gonna pick Lugo. And then Sasso on the opposite side, and then I'll pick Sasso over Lugo again.
Sasso over Lugo. Oh boy, go Kyle. I'm getting scared.
I'm taking.
Starting to sweat.
I'm gonna take Lugo over Sasso.
Lugo's time. I'm gonna disagree. I got Sasso over Lugo again. I think.
Wow. Okay.
I think a lot was made of the match, and my initial thoughts of the Lugo-Sasso match were one thing, and then I watched it a couple times again. I'm like, he just did this in Carver, right? That just happened.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's almost like the gross thing. It's like he wins ugly sometimes, but there's that quality that he has, and I love that he's good on top, and that's an opportunity for him, different paths to victory. But I think he needs to. I don't think he can play the same game either. I don't think he can try to make it accounting. I think some more stall calls could have come his way. And I think people having watched that match, this could be like totally in my mind, but like even refs and whatever, knowing that match may say, you know what, I'm not going to let Sasso play this evasive game again. So he's going to have to be assertive here. So I'm taking him, but man, I don't feel great about it. I could see. I really have a hard time seeing Lee running the gauntlet. That's one thing I don't see. I really think think it's Lugo or Sasso, and I don't see any other champ out of those two. As much as I think Brayton Lee's great, I don't see it happening.
Got it. 57.
Right. 57. Oh my gosh, Ryan Deacon. Now he did lose twice to Caleb Young, but come on.
Well, what about this quarter, Caleb Young versus Peyton Robb? I mean, that was a pretty wild match. I'm kind of excited for that one again.
I was thinking about that as well. I think that's a really interesting quarter.
And if he were to get by that, then he's got Kendall Coleman, who he had 2 crazy matches with.
That's right. Remember that scramble at Midlands?
Yeah, that was wild.
It was 4-3 in the duel as well. I did the preview for this weight, and I actually picked Coleman to beat Caleb Young.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
I
momentum.
did it. So I don't like the way he's trending right now.
If you don't like how he's trending, I'm surprised you didn't pull the trigger on a Rob upset. Kind of hedging a little bit.
Rob just missed weight last duel of the season.
What's up with these Cornhuskers? Why are Cornhuskers missing weight late in the year?
Listen to this. Rob missed weight, okay, against Minnesota.
How did I not hear this?
And then
you were in Ireland probably signing autographs for UFC fans.
That was not the right weekend.
But apparently, dude, you were signing autographs somewhere.
Apparently, Nebraska was going to weigh in 2 guys in anyways, and I think his last name is Licking for sure. And I think it's Caleb Licking, and then he just goes out and almost majors Ryan Thomas.
He licked Thomas.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. So you got a backup.
I never heard of this
Caleb
guy.
Licking.
Well, look him up. He's there.
He beat him 6-0.
Gave Ryan Thomas a licking.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, anyone that's missing weight that late in the year, it kind of makes you a little nervous about what's going on. Jay Rent, remember he famously missed weight at NCAAs. That's a weird thing.
Seriously.
it's kind of a weird thing that still happens, right? Like as many times as these guys have all made weight, like the fact that it can happen. Why does it happen? What is it? I mean, you would feel like the coaches are like so on top of it, and it's not a Nebraska thing. It's just I don't know, probably just bad luck. I mean, I put it on the kid, right? But what happens that the weight gets out of control? Are they growing?
I have no idea. I mean, obviously I didn't have experience with that. I don't think we ever had anyone miss weight at Missouri that I'm trying to think of while I was there.
Brian Smith seems like the coach least likely to have someone ever miss weight.
You know what? I always laugh about it's like, okay, if someone missed like Rentz Ria, he probably missed weight by like 0.1 pound or maybe 0.2 pounds. And so, that's like a miss weight to us. I always laugh MMA like, this dude last weight, he had a title fight, and he missed by 2.5 pounds.
Yeah,
how do you miss by 2.5 pounds?
I like when they miss by like 8 or 9.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum fought Tyron Woodley and missed by 10 pounds. You missed weight by 10 pounds. Like,
he didn't even try.
What? He didn't even try.
It's crazy. I don't know. They shouldn't let those fights happen, in my opinion. I know they have so much tied up in like that a match has to happen for people to watch. That's what they pay for. But it's crazy. I wouldn't fight that guy.
Yeah.
I agreed to fight you at 170.
Yeah. If you say that, then they get really mad at you. Yeah, and it doesn't turn out well usually in the UFC because they put so much pressure on them. Yeah, so I mean, how much did Peyton Robb miss by? Like probably 0.1. Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Is there a weigh-in sheet?
Yeah, I never saw the weigh-in sheet. So the match was on, I think, ESPNU, and they had, I'm pretty sure Gibbons was on the call, and he was saying during the Licky match that they were like talking with Manning when someone came up and told Manning that Rob missed weight. And he's like, oh, it looked like he saw a ghost.
Manning didn't even know. Manning thought Peyton Robb's going to weigh in and make weight.
It sounds like
what is up with Nebraska scales?
It sounds
Jordan
like
Burroughs.
Yeah.
He had to cut weight at Final X this year. What is happening?
That scale was messed up.
I know, but I know it was. But still, it's happening.
Okay, so are we not picking Peyton Robb over Caleb Young then? Is that
No.
I don't think I'm not picking that. Although I think it is a possibility.
Young, yeah, it is a possibility. Young squeaks by, and then I think Coleman gets him.
Squeaker.
Hey, let me ask you. It feels like Peyton Robb's having a really good year. How did he not auto qualify, or did he get an auto qualifier and someone else did not?
He didn't really have that good of a year. He's
16-5.
He beats up on, but so many of his wins are over I'm surprised. Although, if you look at some of the guys that earned auto allocations, it is surprising that Rob wouldn't have earned one.
Hang on, we should be able to find this. You guys.
Yeah, I mean he's got a 3-2 loss to Hayden Hidley. He beat Ja'Cory Teamer, who's number 12. He beat Kendall Coleman, who's number 14. He beat Quinn Kinner, who's number
Rob
34.
Earned one. It was Ryan Thomas that did not.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty crazy.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. So he got seated behind Thomas, I guess because of the missed weight gate. He'll qualify.
Thomas does not have
there's
70 win percentage. So that's why he didn't.
There's no chance he won't get the. I mean, if he would get a wild card. Rob would if he did. I forgot that he beat Kendall Coleman. And Ja'Cory Teamer's kind of coming on. I guess we talked about that.
Kendall Coleman's an injury default.
Oh yeah, good point. That's probably why.
Well, I think he was winning at the time though.
It was 2-1. It was 2-1. I rewatched it.
Kyle Brackey. Okay. Between Kyle Brackey and David Bray, they have watched every wrestling match that happened this year. I am sure of it.
Seriously.
Kyle gives updates during Binghamton, Utah Valley, and he's every match. I'm like, how are you watching all this wrestling? It's really amazing. I guess that is, as I now remember, early fatherhood. It's a lot of just sitting on the couch.
You can't really do much.
You can't do much. You're just kind of hanging. Katie and I watched 5 seasons of Lost during the pregnancy and the early birth. Yeah, sorry, don't do that, guys. Don't watch that show.
Hey, did you guys, speaking of seeing every match, did you guys see on Twitter someone suggested that that Flo host a Russian language FRL? And I thought, how awesome. Okay, if you got Spay and Nomad doing Russian FRL, that would just be so tremendous.
That would be tremendous.
Dude, Spay for a while was trying to learn Russian, and he made note cards. He was making the note cards at work.
I swear, he was making them at work.
Oh, that's tremendous. They have to do it.
He really did that. It's the Olympics. We're gonna have after the trials, the wrestling season really slows down.
It does this year.
I mean, if you're not learning Russian, what are you doing in the off season? Like wrestlers, they're developing in the off season, so I think it's not much to ask those guys to learn another language, and why not Russian at that point?
Wasn't it Yanni that said he was gonna try to learn Russian in his Olympic redshirt
My
year?
brother spoke Russian for a little bit.
Really?
I don't know if he still does. I could ask him. Yeah. His degree was in, I believe his college degree was at interdis in Russian, Japanese, and Spanish, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Some effect. Yeah.
Call him NATO. Okay, now all right, that's interesting. Enough languages, but 57. Do we have any?
All right, make your pick.
I've got Deacon. I'll stick with Caleb Young. I'll say he rights the ship, makes the finals, and then is vanquished by Ryan Deacon, who looks like the best guy in the country right now.
Okay, I'll go Deacon over Coleman. I'm calling a Garrett Model upset of Ryan Thomas in the round of 16.
That will send shockwaves through Wrestling Nation if that happens.
Don't hate.
No hating whatsoever. That is kind of that's not a bad spot there for Model. He goes hard.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that Cleary gets the nod over Quinn Kinner. I thought Kinner was probably their better option.
Yeah.
Cleary beats him at Matttown,
Yeah.
according to Kyle Brackey.
I didn't watch that one.
He didn't watch it.
I just saw the result.
He just saw it in person. He went to Matttown.
Slacker.
He's like, wait, no one's streaming Matttown? All right, I got to go there, I guess.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I got Deacon over Coleman. Do you know what happened when they wrestled?
What? Who?
Deacon and Coleman.
It was bad.
He killed him, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was really bad.
That was at
He was
Purdue,
like-
I think.
14-0 maybe.
Yeah, it was 14-0.
It wasn't
Ryan
pretty.
Deacon's scary good.
Yeah, he's really good. Like, I don't know what his senior level prospects are at 74, but I think he's pretty interesting. And the guy's,
Is he at
Seems to be
74 or is he
even
going to be
better.
at 70? Is he going to be at 70?
I would imagine at some point he'll make the transition full time to 74.
Sure.
I don't know when. But yeah, he's been at 70. I mean, it's the Olympic year, so it doesn't make much sense to be a 70 right now. I can see him going up. Obviously we're really good at that weight, but he's really good. How many guys walking around with wins over James Green? He has one, even though
seriously.
those were avenged. Okay, 65. We're moving along. Chinzo Marinelli, Wick, White, Ethan Smith, and then Shane Oster of Northwestern rounds out the top 6. And Chinzo has never won Big Tens.
Never.
Does he get over the hump here?
I'm picking Isaiah White over Vincenzo Joseph in the semis.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. Like, what? I was like, no, you're not. I was like, okay, so now my quest is to change your mind and make you change your pick on air. But you were kidding.
I was kidding.
That's no longer even a thing, right? Like, after the duel, the Nebraska duel, the way he beat Isaiah, I'm like, yep, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
So
not going to happen.
not going to happen. Marinelli, Wick, once more. Are we? See.
I
Here we
jinxed
go.
him because I picked Wick like 3 times in a row. So I'm gonna pick Marinelli and then Joseph over Marinelli, and maybe I'll jinx. Yeah, reverse jinx.
Reverse jinx works. It works a lot of the time, so I support it. I kind of weirdly feel like it's Wick's turn to just get one, even though their rivalry has not been like a back and forth thing. It was like Wick and then Marinelli ever since, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Marinelli has not had the greatest Big Tens. Well, one time he got 6th, and the other time he won it. So maybe that's not really great evidence. I'm taking Marinelli over Wick, and then I'm taking Marinelli over Chenzo. I think he rights the ship there.
Ooh.
Runs the gauntlet.
Ooh, it's
At
interesting.
65.
Yeah, I'm picking Marinelli too. But Chinzo just doesn't want to win Big Tens.
He don't want to.
It's not cool.
He just says Captain Smooth. He doesn't want to win Big Tens. He's just going to take NCAAs.
Big smooth.
Big Smooth. And who'd you say you reverse jinxed Marinelli?
Marinelli.
Okay.
Joseph over Marinelli. Yep.
All right, Coach Alex Marinelli, real quick. How does he? What does he do against Chinzo to beat him this time?
Oh man. Well, I feel like he's got it. He's so prolific in his underhook. Alex Manelli likes being there, but stay out of there with Vincenzo because that's how Vincenzo wins. And so I said last time Vincenzo needed to shoot from space and he ended up body locking him. So I would say hand fight hard. He goes post high crotch the one side a lot. I would just keep doing that, and I would try to keep the match. He kind of, I don't want to say gassed Vincenzo out, but Vincenzo was not running on all cylinders in the third period in the last match. So I would say be conservative. Don't push that over-under position like you did last time. Don't push your luck, and just try to win with that 1 or 2 takedown match at the end.
I was surprised to see him do that in the duel because in the Big Ten Finals the year before, he shot a lot in the first period. He got Vincenzo banged for stalling.
Yeah.
And they were legit attempts. Like, he had the leg up multiple times and then finally finished one. And Tom Brands even said it afterwards. He's like, you don't need to go to that right away. He's like, take him to deep waters, then go there if you want to.
Yep.
So.
Oh, with the body lock?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a really fun final. And then 74, I mean, it's kind of like we're talking about the Iowa-Penn State duel here again because it looks like a collision course here. Mark Hall, Michael Kemmer. I don't see a path knocking them off, although I really like Labriola a lot. He's got to get by Skatska to get to Kemmer. That was kind of a close-ish match at Iowa. You kind of felt like there were a couple scrambles.
Labriola Kemmer was real close. I mean, that went down to the one scramble at the end of the match, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, really close. I mean, I'm picking Kemmer, but yeah, that was a highly competitive match.
I think Hall turns it around here. I like him to take out Lighty and take out Kemmer in the final.
Agreed.
So I have reversals of the 65 and 74 result from the Penn State duel. Changing both of those, I think Hall. But if it's kind of stupid to say, but if Kemmer does it again, okay, fine. He's just better. But
yeah,
he's got to do for someone like Mark Hall. He's gonna have to do it twice for me to really buy it that he's better than that guy. Then 84. This is one where we could have a crazy final here. Now maybe we're saying Aaron Brooks for sure, but the guy is a true freshman. He's got the guy he lost to in the semis potentially. I don't think he'll have a particularly challenging quarter, even though Webster and Sebastian are talented. Although the Sebastian match,
Sebastian was competitive.
That was a close match. Numerically, anyways. So I don't know. This is the one where you could say, "Wow, this was a Big Ten final in 2020." Yes. I've got Assad making the final, and oh man, I actually think he could go with Brooks, but
really,
I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
The Vens. Sorry, finish up, Christian.
No, that's it. I got Brooks over Assad.
Okay. Yeah, the Vens Brooks match does make me a little bit nervous. I mean, Vens beat him 9-5 fairly handily. But Brooks has been wrestling better and better the whole time. So I'm gonna go Aaron Brooks over Cam Caffey.
Oh, okay. Lieutenant Caffey.
Yeah, I love the way Aaron Brooks is wrestling right now. It's typical turn on March Penn State, find their groove. And I'm going to take Assad over Caffey. He was in so many times in the duel, and I like him to make the adjustments and finish one of those.
Very true freshman-y. Like, you can kind of tell he's probably the better guy, but mistakes happen and you don't figure it out. But then again, we could be sleeping on Caffey, but you know what? I'll go with the Hawkeye there.
Caffey had a great tweet last night.
What'd he say?
He put up a picture of him in a football helmet and said, "Me when I see the Big Ten seeds, I'd like smoke."
All right.
He wants to smoke.
How does he get the football helmet on over the fro? I guess it just depresses.
Yeah.
You can squish it
presses it in.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Ben played D2 football. He knows.
I never had long hair while I played football. So.
What position did you play in football?
Nose tackle. What you guys are bullying me today?
I know, it's just funny. It's not
because nose tackles are usually very.
Do you know what nose tackles look
round
like?
People.
Is this during the round phase?
I had this really good. No. I was a freshman. 119-pound state finalist. I had a good swim move. I go boom, swim move over him, and then try to go sack the quarterback.
What? So
yeah, swim move. You know what swim move is? You grab the jersey, pull it, go over the top.
Dang, that's a small nose tackle. That's awesome. Was that JV? Yeah. I guess in 9th grade.
Freshman team. We had good.
Big difference.
Yeah, we had a powerhouse football program here. They probably made the state finals or won, 10 times in a 15-year period.
When did you decide to hang up the cleats?
That was it. That was it. Freshman year, then all wrestling.
Freshman year, you weren't getting the Saban wasn't watching your games. You're like, forget it.
No, I decided I want to be a really good wrestler and enough of other sports.
Well, it seemed like a sound decision. Okay. 97. Colin Moore, Eric Schultz, Jacob Warner, Christian Bruner, Spellbrunner, Lucas Davison, Shakur Rashid, Jordan Pagano. Those were teammates. Okay. I kind of like this way. I'm not ready to give. Shakur versus Warner in a quarter. I'm ready to see that one again, even though Shakur wasn't super close. It's just the Penn State magic factor. It's like maybe it'll be different. But it's Colin Moore. I've got Moore, and I'm going to say Warner gets by Schultz this time. They've traded wins, and now Schultz owes him one. So it's going back. So I got Moore over Warner.
Same.
I'm going Moore over Schultz. Am I the only one who thinks Schultz can beat Warner?
Well, he has. So
no, he definitely can.
Yeah, I think he can. I definitely think he can. I think he can do it again.
I think he's looked really good this year. I'm picking Eric Schultz to make the finals. But, hey, one thing, someone brought this up on Twitter. Hey, another thing, you see some wimp on the mat got mad that we didn't call out his exact profile name. What a dork.
What?
Well, I referenced that someone on the mat said something about the rule, and this guy got all bitter. He said, "Can you believe FRL didn't say my name or whatever handle?" Well, what a dork! Shut up. Dorky. But so someone, damn it, now I distract myself. What was I going to talk about?
Warner Schultz.
Something.
No.
Someone said on Twitter.
Something said
on
Twitter.
I distracted myself. I suck. Okay, I quit.
It's it's your HGTV. Strikes again.
Maybe it'll come back. Okay, I'll go short. I know what it was. Does Moore really not have a chance at winning the Hodge? I mean, he's got the most wins. He's got a fairly high bonus percentage. Do we just feel like it's Spencer unless he flops somehow?
It's kind of a great point. 24-0, 75% bonus.
Yes.
How many falls are we looking at?
He's not a great pinner.
Only a couple.
I mean, but
2, 3.
But none of those guys are.
How many Spencer have?
4
not
pins.
A lot. No,
Spencer doesn't have 4 pins, does he?
No, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have very many.
Yeah.
Dude, that's interesting. That is interesting. He should for sure be a finalist if he runs the table.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna end up at 32, 33-0, and those other guys are gonna have way less. The other finalists, I don't think any of them are gonna have more than 20 wins. Any of the other
Spencer has 3 pins.
Spencer has 3 pins.
Yeah.
Now, Nick Lee could get to 28-0, I think. He's or 26 or 27 maybe. So that's possible. But yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be tough. Yeah, he's got to be a finalist for sure.
Sorry, this has nothing to do with that.
That's okay.
But 197, 6 qualifiers. All right, Shakur Rashid's a 6 seed.
Mm-hmm.
He has to auto qualify. He ain't getting a wild card.
Yeah,
he's 5-4.
5-4.
Because Pagano was probably the auto qualifier at that weight. Kyle,
I can tell you in 1 second. It was Warner, Schultz, Davison, Moore, Bruner, Pagano. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
So 97, we all got Colin Moore, Hodge finalist Colin Moore. And then we go to go.
Yeah, now that I think Colin Moore has to be a Hodge finalist because one of the heavyweights will obviously lose to the other one. Possibly they'll both lose, potentially.
And career achievement, too.
Yeah, he'll be a 4-time All-American. This will be his second trip to the final. Second trip to the final. It won't match up, but now Zahid's out of the question. And so
yes.
Basically Spencer does. I still think Spencer has to he has to lose a match.
Yes. What is Nick Lee's bonus rate right now?
It's got to be high, but
It's got to be high.
His quality of competition. Well, I guess he's faced
41's tougher than 25, for sure.
For sure it is. Yeah. Inarguable. Okay. Heavyweight.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of Gable Paris discussion, but we're gonna have to have Gable Cassiope first. I've got Gable winning that one, and then I've got Gable in a controlled win over Mason Paris.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the semi of Hilger and Paris again. That was a really fun match last time. I think Gable wins in a boring one over Cassiope. And I am like, I just don't see. I feel so. I kind of feel like a dummy for saying this, but I just don't see Mason beating Gable.
I don't.
And
either.
I feel like a dummy for saying that because Mason's look so good, but that just after watching him, that's just how I feel.
I don't think it's a good matchup for it, but you know what?
Yes.
I think we just have to see it one dang time. And is there a chance? Could Mason get him tired? Is that an option?
Maybe.
But I think to get tired, he has to attack a lot. If he attacks a lot, I think he's in trouble.
Yes, agreed.
And I think if he stands there and hand fights with him, I don't know if he can do that either, right?
Yeah.
Everything could be answered by Mason Paris just being a freak of nature person and able to handle all that stuff. But till I see it, I've got to go Gable there. I'm kind of like Gable in everything. I pick him to make world and Olympic teams, so I think I have to pick him to win Big Tens also. So I've got him doing the thing. But man, is that maybe the match? If you have to pick, you only get to see one match of conference week.
That's it. Yeah.
I think that's it. That's the one where I'm most curious, most interested. It's like, even with 33, man, there's some.
I kind of rather see DeSanto RBY.
I kind of want to see Rivera DeSanto. I think that match.
That's what I want to see.
That's the one I want to see.
We need both those guys to lose then. If Rivera and
win.
Yeah, or win.
There's multiple paths that it could happen. Yeah. Okay. Maybe not. But I think the one, no matter what happens in those matches, I feel like no matter what I see happen, even if DeSanto broke Rivera or Rivera picked him apart, I would never say, I know that's what's gonna. I would give the other guy a shot every time in the rematch. With this one, I really could learn a lot and be like, okay, it could literally change how I think about those two wrestlers. That's why I really want to see it. I don't know if that even makes sense. But I said it, so there it is. Okay, it's 9:42. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out here because there's a lot we didn't get to talk about.
We do have a show tomorrow, right?
We do have a show tomorrow. Nothing. Thursday, you're off, buddy.
We're off Thursday?
Everyone's gone. We're traveling.
We're all hitting the road.
I'll just get on here and do a monologue.
You could do that if you wanted to.
No, that'd be too hard. Oh, man.
Maybe Bader or someone will be here. Or no, Bader's probably leaving with us.
Literally everyone's going somewhere because we have live on Flow. We have PIAAs, Pennsylvania High School State Wrestling. They're pretty good.
Allegedly.
It's all alleged. We're not sure until this weekend. EIWAs and Big Tens all live on Flow, among other things, right? So that's going to be monstrous. But yeah, we're all gone. I don't think there's anyone. There is a nuclear option.
I know what you're going to say.
I don't want to say it, but his name's Sion Williams. Dare I leave? Dare I leave?
That would not go well, Christian. You shouldn't do that.
I feel like I could lose both of you guys if I left y'all alone, unattended for an hour. It may be the last show either of you are allowed to do. What'd you say?
We would have way too much fun.
Yeah. Okay. If you're scared, then I'm even more freaked out.
I'm scared.
All right. Well, I need you feeling calm and comfortable. So we won't go nuclear option. But let it be said, and let you guys say to Sion, it was you two that said, bad idea, don't do it. Because he always yells at me like I prohibit him from being on the show. I do want to do one question. It's from Joseph Floyd. He said, aside from Miles Martin, should Ohio State fans be concerned about Tom Ryan's judgment of pulling red shirts? I say definitely not. Because one, I feel like he has great judgment about wrestling guys. He wrestled Kyle Snyder's a true freshman, That was really smart. He pulled him out of Olympic redshirt and won a title at heavyweight. I'm not sure what the bad examples are other than most recently Decatur. Tomasello redshirted.
Malik.
I don't count.
Right.
I mean, what would a redshirt, not redshirt have mattered?
He qualified for nationals. And
yeah.
I don't know if they had a better option there. You got a guy to nationals.
They didn't have a better option, but for Malik, maybe we're seeing Malik have a worse season this year than he did last year. Maybe that throwing someone in that Big Ten schedule is that's kind of like they just get their ass beat and they don't like wrestling.
I hear
anymore.
you, but he really didn't last year. He was 24-11. Like he held his own.
He held his own. I don't know what happened. I think he's got a good track record, honestly. And also guys to pool, but guys to redshirt. Like he redshirted Bo and Nato, and they had undefeated redshirt years, and then they came out and they had great careers, right?
Yeah.
He got lucky with Logan. Logan had a forced redshirt that he wasn't supposed to have, where I don't think he would have won a title as a true freshman.
Yep.
Personally, he was too big, and that weight was so good that year. But then he got his redshirt year, and he was a 4-time national champion. Hunter, he wisely wrestled Hunter as a true freshman when he was ready to go. He beat Kellen Russell and Mangrum and Montel Marion all as a true freshman. So, actually, Joseph, he's maybe has some of the best judgment of when to pull guys, when to use them. I think also one thing he looks at, I don't know, I've never talked to Coach Ryan about this, but the handing out of a red shirt is you have to have a certain level of emotional maturity about you to handle a red shirt, right? Otherwise he's going to put you in the lineup too. It's like an earned thing. So there's guys he's wrestled that maybe weren't amazing, but like Decatur, maybe that's not looking like the best decision now, but there's also long-term lineup decisions where one, he made your team better this year, but you don't know who you're going to get down the line. That is Decatur going to have a hard time in the lineup anyway. So there's a lot of stuff, but I will say that he's actually pretty dang good at it if you look at his track record. All right, Ben. Anything else before we get the heck out of here till tomorrow?
No, I'm excited for this weekend. I mean, to you guys brought it up, but I thought this was just crazy. Reese brought this up when I interviewed him yesterday. Is that Big Ten's is in Jersey, EIWA's is in Philly, and then they have the PIAA and the New Jersey States all in one weekend. For that area of the country, holy crap, that's a lot of wrestling.
East Coast, baby. Dude, ACCs are at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, and ACCs are, oh my gosh, yeah.
Can you imagine? David Bray, he's so crazy. I think he forgets he has 3 kids sometimes. He's like, maybe after PIAA finals, maybe I just get another flight 2 days later and go to catch the ACC finals. I'm like, man, you have to take that up with your wife. But if you go, that would be kind of sick. I wouldn't blame him. Dude's just a wrestling nut. All right, LJ and Kyle, we are good to go. Feel free to play us out. It is a great week to be a wrestling fan. You guys got to be excited.
Yes, sir.
We're so excited. 465 episodes down. Who knows how many to go?
Everything but the Big Ten finals on this weekend, right, Christian? On Flow.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, everything except first and second. We still have 3rd through 7th place matches and all the other crazy 9th place brackets that there are.
Yeah, gonna be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait for that. Thank you guys for listening. I don't know. I used to say this all the time on FRL. I'll say it again. If you want to listen to FRL, we're on iTunes and Spotify, and you can listen on Libsyn, and then you can also watch the video on the site. So there's a lot of different ways to listen. If you want to give us a 5-star rating, that's fine. If you're interested, the 4-star and below is disabled, so you literally can't do it. So don't even try. But yeah, I hadn't said that in a while. Sometimes people ask how to listen, or they're looking for the archive. The first place you can always listen is on your phone on Libsyn. A lot of good content coming. We've got the Edge story about Ernie Monaco, the godfather of club wrestling. That's dropping tonight at 7, I believe Mike Mal said. What's so funny, Ben?
I'm laughing because you literally talked so long in the outro that the music ran out.
I love it. I can't even hear the music. I didn't even know it was playing.
I was
ran out of
listening, and
music.
then we ran out of music because you talked so long.
We ran out of music. We need to loop it next time. All right, the Edge, and that's it. Fine, I guess I'm on the edge of the music. See you tomorrow, guys. We out.
See ya.
clips and like link up some of the. He said his thing about gross is the desperate attempts of a dying man or something like that. Yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of like, that's a good one. That one, him calling out dressers like reprehensible, like just put that clip like and have it like carded or whatever. I think that would like blow up.